One local woman has started over the last couple of years a fantastic fundraiser for the SPCA, and she returns again this year, showcasing her talent and raising money for animals in need in our community. So I'd like to welcome to the show now Lise and Bonnie. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, well, great to have you here. And Lise, we met you on the show a few years ago, but remind our viewers a little bit about yourself and how this art all got started for you in terms of painting pet portraits and then deciding to use that to give back to the OSPCA SD&G Animal Center.
Mm-hmm. So this year is my fourth year doing it. I started 3 years ago. At first, the OSPCA didn't even know I was doing this, and I want to find a way to help the animals. I've always wanted to be a vet and couldn't afford to go to school to be a vet, but I says when I started painting, what if I take my paintings, make calendars, and try selling the calendars and see how that goes. First year I made over $900. The second year I made over $5,000, and the third year over $7,000 with my paint night, which I couldn't believe, thanks to all the wonderful people in Cornwall that care about animals and the businesses that let me in the different locations. It's been wonderful, you know. So I'm getting a lot of support from everybody that buys a calendar. I've had people give donations as well if they found the calendars too much. So all of this goes all into the same spot to help the animals, you know.
Oh, fantastic.
And I don't think there's anybody that loves animals much more than I do. I've had them all my life. This year's calendar is my fur babies from about 20 years ago. That was Teddy, Bauer, Pepper, and Cooper. Originally I took them on a small card table at Christmas and had a Christmas tree behind them, but they're gone. It's a long time. So I put the gates of heaven and the clouds waiting for me on the other side. Aww. So I'm looking someday. My daughter says to me, Mom, when you get there, you're going to have a lot of dogs because you've had dogs all your life and often four. So they mean everything to me. I have arthritis very bad, and they're my purpose in the morning, to get up, take care of them, and spend time with them and do those fun things. You know, they give us so much love in the short time that we have them. Anybody that's a pet owner knows what I'm talking about, you know. It's unfortunately they don't have very long lives, you know. I've had them many years, and I've never had a dog past the age of 12. When 12 comes around, I get scared. So I love painting and I love animals, so this was the perfect way that I came up with a plan to help the OSPCA. And I meet a lot of wonderful people when I'm out there. They tell me their stories. I love hearing about them, you know. And I have clients that get their pets painted. In my calendar, it's all my clients' pets from different years that have painted for people. A painting with one dog takes me over 80 hours to do.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's absolutely incredible, and certainly the money that you raise with this beautiful art goes a long way, Bonnie, because not every fur baby is lucky to have a mom like Lise, and the need is always there. So talk to me a little bit about what the money raised each year really does for the Animal Center.
Yeah, it's important to note that all the money raised stays locally. So the money that Lise is raising through her calendars will stay and support the animals in SD&G, Prescott Russell, through our Animal Center here in Cornwall. So we have a lot of animals that are in need. We meet the needs of those animals through all the donations that we receive from the community. We receive no government funding, so all the work that we do is basically through the resources of people donating. And it's important to note that the money will stay local. We currently have, I don't know if people have been reading the paper, we had 15 cats dropped off at our door just on Friday. We now have foster family that's fostering 2-week-old puppies that lost their mother. She passed away, so we're bottle feeding cats. It goes towards spaying and neutering, vaccinating animals, and then finding them forever homes.
Absolutely. And as we talked about, that need continues to grow. But at the end of the day, it's amazing when individuals in the community like Lise, because as great as the staff is at the SPCA, they are so involved in the work that they do that all the extra help really does help.
Volunteers are vital to the work that we do. We have amazing staff who care about the animals that we care for every day, but it's the the volunteers in the community are the backbone of our organization. We have volunteers that are at the animal center every day, either working at the animal center, caring for the pets, fostering animals, brushing, grooming, doing everything from laundry to driving animals to veterinary appointments to transferring to different locations. We have a lot of volunteer opportunities. If anyone's interested in volunteering, please reach out to the Ontario SPCA. Lise donates a huge amount of her time to us primarily through October, November, and December of every year, and the funds that she's raising will help. It will go a long ways in helping the animals in SDNG.
Absolutely, and sometimes that fundraising aspect of volunteering gets a little lost. We know that it's very exciting to go to the shelter, walk the dogs. Everybody wants to do that. Not everybody necessarily wants to be volunteering at a bingo, or it can be very a lot of work to put on a fundraiser. But it is so worth it to help the animals. So if people do have ideas of ways to raise money, that opportunity is there. So talk to me a little bit about that, and that again, the importance of third-party fundraisers like these.
Absolutely, third-party fundraising is key. We have a limited number of staff. We have in this area, for example, we have myself, the East Regional Manager for Community Outreach Services, and then we have a Community Outreach Coordinator, Ariane, that works in the community. But other than that, our staff are in the animal center caring for the animals. So third-party fundraisers like Lise, vital to our organization. We have people in the community who are running events with the sole purpose of the donations going back to the Ontario SPCA, and that adds to our third-party revenue, which is very, very important. And so it's people in the community who care about animals like Lise, who are spending their time raising funds towards the animals and then donating their proceeds to the Ontario SPCA, and we couldn't survive without them.
Absolutely, and again, it's a great way as well because we know times are tight. Not everybody has the finances to continuously give, but some of us have extra time that we can give.
Absolutely. Time is the most valuable thing you have to give, and it truly is impactful to the animals that people volunteer to help with, whether it's brushing, grooming, walking, adding to enrichment to the lives of the animals that are there. But certainly, because we're 100% donor-generated dollars, we need that support to help with the third party and the events that the Ontario SPCA offers as well.
Absolutely. Always grateful for people's time, of course, people's money, and if they have both, all the better. But certainly, again, it is an eye-opening when you realize just how much you can give back and hold these third-party fundraisers. So I do want to talk a little bit more about this one, yes. Of course, Lise, and the calendars. You mentioned the time it takes that goes into these pet portraits. So just elaborate a little bit more on that and your process of creating this art.
So when someone's interested in having their pet painted, either it's getting up in age or it's a puppy or it's passed on, they'd like to have a pet painting done. So they send me photos through Facebook. I look at them, I tell them if they're clear enough, and then I send them some examples back with backgrounds, if they want the background or not. I do the picture from there. It's always best to have an animal's eyes looking at you because the eyes make the painting, and very clear. The clearer you give me, the better job I can do. If I can't see it very well, I'll sometimes refuse and say it's impossible to find a better picture, of your pet. So everybody, I've seen people hug me, people in tears when they pick up their pet. I have one cat that just amazed me. This young girl came and seen me, and the cat lived to 27 years. She says, I've had this cat since I've been a baby, and Mom picked him up off the street. So this is Scar. And Scar was a baby picked off the street, and they kept him, and he lived as long as the little girl that grew up with the cat, 27 years. I said, do you know how blessed you are to have a cat so long? So I've met wonderful people that have dogs and cats and that love them to no end, So it's always a pleasure to paint their animals, and it's a pleasure for me at this time of the year to help the animals. It means so much. Animals have always been there for me, so it's my way of helping them.
Absolutely. So we certainly encourage anyone that does have a fur baby that they would like to immortalize in this way to do so, because it helps support what you're doing, and it gives you content maybe for future calendars. But how can people get a hold of this year's calendar? And as you mentioned, there's donations as well accepted,
yes.
If they don't want to buy the full calendar, yes. or can't buy the full calendar. So just take us through all those options.
Okay, so there is 3 calendars this year. Your large calendar, dogs and cats. There's only one cat, mostly dogs. Your small and your small cat. The small ones are $35 each. The large is $40. And when you buy one, your name goes into a draw to win the 3 prizes that Ridgewood gave. the table, that's a coffee table, the computer desk, and an electric fireplace, which is a very nice gift to get. Your name goes that, and if you give a $5 donation, the same way your name will go into the draw. You can find me at many places. Saturday, I'm usually at PetSmart. On Sunday, Pet Value. Also, sometimes at the grocery stores. I've been into Baxter's, independent grocers on the weekend. No Frills, Walmart. In the past, I was at Canadian Tires. So, and also at Stacy's Pet Depot. So there's a lot of places, but if you can't find me there, I always write online that day where I'm going to be. I'm on Facebook, Art by Lise Oikle or Lise Oikle. And I just tell you where I'm going to be. You can find me there, or at my home on Bedford Street. You can give me a phone call, 933-8355. Let me know you're interested in a calendar, and you can pick it up at my home at 109 Bedford Street.
Wonderful. Well, we can't thank you enough for what you're doing, and of course, Bonnie, to the entire team at the SPCA. And we know there's exciting things for the Animal Center in the future, so we're going to have you back to talk a little bit about some of these exciting developments. So, but for now, we're going to thank Lise and wish you the best of luck with this campaign. I believe Bonnie had mentioned 7,000 raised last year, so we're gonna beat that this year.
So far this year, as of now, we're standing over just a little over 4,000. Thanks to everybody that's bought a calendar, go for donation. It's touched my heart. The kindness of people is just unremarkable.
Amazing. Well on our way to beating that last year's total and setting a new record. So thank you so much. Best of luck, Lise and Bonnie.
Thank you very much.
You.